probably about a month ago, we decided let's try to do a top 10 horror movie list. And then we quickly realized how difficult this task really is. So it took quite some time to create these lists with very good reason. You know, it's one thing to love a bunch of horror movies, and it's another thing to try to put a label on them as like your favorite. These are my top 10 and that's it. Like it's in writing and this is it. So I think that's why I had such a difficult time. It's like I love so many and trying to just narrow it down to 10, that's where I had a hard time. So we each created a separate top 10 list of our horror movies. We made a joke about how many we think are going to match. And I think I'm going to go with 3 out of 10 will maybe match. What do you think?
I'm trying to think if I should go higher or lower.
Yeah, I don't know. We do have different tastes. Which
We do. And then also we have to take in consideration too, we're from different eras.
I'm 22 and you're what? You're 30 something, you're 40?
I'm 6.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm 6.
I kind of did it a little bit different only because of the way my brain works. I couldn't just come up with a top 10 list. So I broke it down for myself into 10 different subgenres of horror and then my favorite one in each one of those subgenres. I'm going to end up kicking myself in the ass over that because
you're going to lose some good ones.
I already know. I'm looking at the list and I'm like, God, there's so many others. But I've seen so many movies over the years. It's like, I can't narrow it down to just 10. I do have some honorable mentions on here besides my top 10.
Do we want to say those first or do you want to give those last?
I don't know. Let's play it by ear, man.
Maybe we'll weave in and out.
Yeah. And my list is in no particular order. Yes.
Let's throw out one of your honorable mentions.
One of my favorite categories, just because of our background of being paranormal investigators. I have a supernatural or paranormal subgenre. Honorable mentions is The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Nice. Okay. Well, then let's crack my list because that actually made my list.
Oh, look at that. As an honorable mention or on the top 10?
No, on top 10.
Damn, it's a great one, man. If you have not seen that movie, stop what you're doing right now, watch it, and then come back and finish this podcast with us.
So all these movies popped in my head for a reason when I thought. And the reason why I put Autopsy of Jane Doe was because that movie genuinely gave me the creeps. I don't even know how to explain it. I actually remember seeing that movie and kind of like being creeped out to go to the bathroom afterwards. And what's funny is I got to investigate a funeral home, a working funeral home.
I remember that video.
But the idea, the idea of doing that scared the shit out of me. Okay, so what made your list as your favorite supernatural paranormal film?
So my favorite supernatural movie is Sinister with Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
One of the creepiest, because it's not a found footage movie, but it has a found footage aspect to it. When when he's watching the home videos of everyone that's getting murdered, all the families getting murdered. So found footage is my favorite genre altogether. So the fact that it goes back and forth between, regular style filming and then found footage. The one iconic scene for me is the lawnmower scene. If you ever seen Sinister, you know what the lawnmower scene is. It is just absolutely gruesome and terrifying.
Here, I'm gonna give you one of. I like Sinister too. It didn't make my list,
right?
But I'm gonna give you an honorable mention. The Descent.
Oh my God, that's such a good one.
It almost made my list, man. There's just like I couldn't put it in place of anything else on there. It almost made my list.
That's one that I'm trying to get my daughter to watch. We just haven't sat down and watched it yet. If you are claustrophobic, you have that fear aspect of it, plus I don't know what you call them, zombies, mutants, creatures. You have that. I mean, God, that movie is terrifying, dude.
I'm pretty sure this one made your list. I'd be surprised if it didn't. So I'm going to say it. Hereditary.
It's on my list.
Did Hereditary make your list?
It did.
Yeah,
Under the witchcraft genre.
Nice. Great film. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to go watch it. You never see it coming. It just happens, and then you start putting the pieces together. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What did I just watch?
Besides the witchcraft side and the horror side, it's the grieving side of it. Everything that happens to that family, it's It's gut wrenching. The car scene where it's like 2 minutes of silence after what happens. It's like you're just sitting there in utter shock and you're just staring at the screen.
And
like, what just happened?
What's her name? Toni Collette. Whenever she
Oh my
cries,
God, she is such
oh
an
my God,
amazing
dude,
actress.
when she cried, bro. Oh, you feel it, dude. It's so crazy.
Yeah, Ari Aster is a great filmmaker, and he has a brand new movie coming out. He just released a trailer. This is his third movie because he also went on to make Midsummer. And then now his new one is with Joaquin Phoenix. And it looks
I haven't seen
super
the trailer.
freaky, dude. That trailer looks freaky. I have Scream 1 on my list. That is down as my favorite slasher film. Obviously, they're up to Scream 6 now, which is where they're in New York City. The trailer actually does look really good, and I am excited to see where the storyline goes. But nothing is going to top Scream 1. And the twist at the end.
I associate Scream with the scary movie genre, the funny ones. I'm going to go with this next one here because it was one that I guess you could call it's not a slasher, but it kind of is in the theme of killers killing people. But it left my jaw dropped on the floor the first time I saw it. And it was Saw.
Ooh. The first Saw movie and that first twist reveal that Zepp was not the killer. And that
dude, when he stood up,
dude, I was like, what is happening? You realize he's playing the game also. And that's the only reason he kidnapped the doctor's family was because he was injected with poison and he was doing it to play the game. I was like, God damn. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then he just stands up, peels off that little bit of latex.
I like it too because the traps in that one, they weren't like super, they kind of started getting over the top.
My gore splatter category is what I had Saw down in, but my I had to go with Evil Dead for gore and splatter. So Evil Dead, the first one or the second one, or Army of Darkness. I don't care. Any one of the Evil Dead movies is on that list. And then I had Saw and Hostel as my honorable mentions for like the gore category.
I'm going to go with this next one because I just remember watching it and loved how it had like a classic feel. And the storyline was like very interesting. It wasn't just an average paranormal storyline. And that's Insidious, the first one.
The first one, dude. Oh my God. The sound effects that he used in the first one. Oh man.
Yeah, that's it. And then it was cool how it was astral projection. It wasn't a ghost in the house. It was kind of just like out of left field. I didn't see it coming.
I'll go with comedy horror. And I have Deadstream as my favorite movie there. I know you haven't seen that one yet. We were talking about that a few weeks ago.
With the annoying main character?
Oh, dude. He's not annoying once you get to know him. You fall in love with that character, man.
No, this is the movie that I thought you couldn't stand it.
No, I loved it, dude.
Deadstream.
Yeah. No. You're thinking of Dashcam.
Oh, okay.
Dashcam, I couldn't. I wanted to murder her. So Deadstream is about a YouTuber that pretty much got canceled for doing some pretty extreme YouTube videos, and cancel culture got him. He got canceled, so he decided he's gonna have this grand big comeback, and he decides to spend the night in this abandoned haunted house. And he live streams the entire event. He's wearing like a GoPro attached to his chest, so he has like a face cam. Things get crazy, dude. It was the funniest horror movie I've seen in a long, long time.
Really? I'm going to check it out. That sounds fun because I'm going to go the exact opposite of funny. I'm going to go with a movie that literally left my jaw on the floor and psychologically messed my brain up.
Ooh.
And that's Martyrs, the French version. Did it make your list?
It did under psychological thriller, yep. As an honorable mention, only because...
Oh, not on the list, okay.
Yeah, and so only because I messed up the way I did this. But... Damn
it.
Yeah, so I watched that movie based off of your recommendation back in like June or July of this year. And...
Yeah. Do you still find yourself randomly thinking about it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And dude, that whole night... my stomach literally hurt like I had a tummy ache. I legit felt like I was sick, and like if I was I wanted to stay home from work the next day, like calling sick and be like, my tummy hurts. Number one, it wasn't the movie I thought it was. Like I remember always hearing about Martyrs, and I just always assumed it was going to be about sexual assault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was going to be these two girls that were being held against their will and being sexually assaulted. God damn, I was wrong. Like, that is not what it's about at all.
No, it's about life.
Yeah, and death.
Literally. Yeah, and death.
What happens after death?
And you have to watch the French version. If you're listening to this, do not watch the American version. It's terrible. It does not even end anywhere near the same. It's awful. Don't watch it. Terrible. They ruined it. Completely ruined it. You have to watch the French one and read the subtitles.
So while we're on the topic of psychological thriller, Jordan Peele's Get Out. Coming from Key and Peele comedy sketches to one of the best horror movies out in the past 10 years, it was just like, where did this come from? You know what I mean?
I mean, it kept popping up in my head. I guess, you know what held me back from it? Because for me, whenever I'm thinking horror, I don't think to put like comedy in horror, which I liked it and Get Out, but that was the only thing that held me back from it. Because for some reason, my brain is like, no, it's horror. I'm going to change the pace a little bit with this one here. I'm going to go with 30 Days of Night.
Oh, that's on my list.
It's on your list?
Yep.
Yes, for vampires.
Yep. We got 3 matches so far, right? We got Hereditary, 30 Days a Night. Oh, it was Autopsy, but mine was an honorable mention. Okay, so
yeah, honorable mention.
We got 2 so
right now.
far.
I guess 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Because once you said the category thing, I said I'm going to go under.
Yeah, dude, 30 Days a Night is the best vampire movie ever made, and nobody can change my mind on that.
Do you have another like monster type genre?
I do. I have a monster genre. And my
what is it?
Favorite one is Cloverfield. The honorable mentions being The Mist and The Ritual.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. The Ritual was pretty interesting. I remember that one.
I remember watching The Ritual, and I thought I had it all figured out. And I was dead wrong. Because in my head, I was like, there's no way this is really happening. So I was like, he must be in like a therapy session, and this is like his way of grieving. Is so far-fetched. I'm like, he's in the woods being chased by a monster and then ends up in like a cabin with those weird people. I'm like,
cult.
Yeah, I was like, all right, he's going through something. He's hypnotized. He's going through therapy sessions. Something's happening. And then the end of the movie, I'm like, no, that was for real. What the fuck? But it was crazy, dude. What do you have down for a monster?
I have 2 Alien films. Ooh. Fourth Kind.
Oh, that's a great one.
So good. And then Dark Skies.
Oh, man. That is another good one, dude.
Dark Skies was so good to me. I like it that there was such a family aspect involved with the film in itself, too. It was so layered, and I mean that in the sense of like every family member's experiencing something, and the way the story just keeps going, and it just keeps adding up. And then the ending scene where they show the extraterrestrials and stuff. Man, it was such a good film.
My next one is found footage category, and that is The Blair Witch. And the reason for that is because I was old enough at the time to enjoy the whole hype around The Blair Witch in real time, which was everyone advertising it as real. These hikers were really missing. There was news articles. There were websites. Everybody thought this was real. And then you watch the movie, not knowing if it's real or not. And then at the end, you find out it's, a horror movie. I understand watching it now. You don't get to live through the experience of not knowing whether it's real or fake. And the basement scene, absolutely terrifying, which is why I still hate basements to this day.
To go kind of with the theme of witchcraft still, have you ever seen a movie called A Dark Song?
I know what the poster looks like. Like, I'm familiar with the movie. I guess I need to watch it if it's on your list.
It's on my list, bro. It's a emotional roller coaster. And the way that they did it and pulled it off, it was so cool. I don't want to say anything. I want you to go into it completely blind.
All right, this is the last one on my list, and it is the zombie category. And this is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is 28 Days Later.
Yes, that was an honorable mention.
There is rumors that the script for part 3 is actually finished, and Danny Boyle is going to come back to direct it, and Cillian Murphy wants to come back to bring his character Jim back to the big screen. So fingers crossed that actually happens, because we are 20 years since the first 28 Days Later.
The last one for me, I really like this movie because it surprised me, and it took me just like kind of back and forth. Whoa, what? I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not real. Oculus.
Oh,
You remember that one?
That is a good one, dude.
The story is really good, and yeah, you just never know what's real, what's not. It's so confusing, but it's so good. So yeah, that's our top 10. I want to give you a real quick. We have a minute left. Fast minute.
1 minute.
Honorable mentions. Human Centipede.
Ooh.
Only because I have a funny story. I got my what is now my mother-in-law, at the time was my future mother-in-law, walked down on us watching that movie, and she was like, "What is that?" That's literally when they were like ass to mouth. No Escape.
Ooh.
The one where that's a scary one for dads, right? For us dads, that's a really scary one.
Terrifying.
Lovely Molly. The ending scene where the demon takes her into his arms. Love that scene. Amazing. I don't remember if the movie was good. I just love the scene. And then the TV show, Them.
Oh yeah.
Masterpiece. I love that. I had to put it down there. So
I love it, man.
Spout it until it goes off. How many honorable mentions do you have?
Ooh, real quick. Night of the Living Dead, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Mist, The Sixth Sense, Shaun of the Dead, Lost Boys, and Host, which Host
almost made my list. It was on my list.
Oh, no.